My name is Sushmita.
I'm Sam,
Broadcasting live from Global TV Bollywood Studio, India.
live from Global TV London studio. You are watching Global TV Philippines
I'm so excited to join you. Catch me soon on the Rapporteur News with
Isabel
Isabel Fernandez and Chino Hansel
Hansel
Fillian.
Fillian.
Together, let's unite the universe with substance by bringing news you can trust. Until then.
See you.
Sikoy ko kami gimu tolangin. Sikoy ko kami gimu to aldoy bulan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kabituhunan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kalibutan. Manama, mabantog ka. Warag po ko ilingkoy ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين وكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the light of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mabantog ka. Warap po ko iling ko'y ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
Naalala mo ba nang ika'y bata pa? Berdeng lupa na kay ganda, itim ang mga bulaklak, mga pusong puno ng galak. Lumipas ang mga araw, pananaw tila'y nagugunaw, kasakumay niyakap, kahit mga puno'y umiiyak. Buksan mo ang iyong mata at tingnan mo ang panaghol-ila. Kagubat ay lumuluha, wag mo sana itatuwa. Sige na, humayong ka, oras na ibigin siya. Bigyang pansin ang mundo natin, kalikasan ay malin. Pakinggan muli ng ibon, may ngiti sa gabi't hapon. Sa tulong ng Panginoon, halina tayo'y tumutod. Basura'y wag igalat sa daan, ilog o dagat, lusok sa kalangitan, sana'y ating bawasan. Buksan mo ang iyong mata at tingin mo ang panaghol-ila. Kagubat ay lumuluha, wag mo sanang itatuwa. Sige na, humayong ka, oras na para ibigin siya. Bigyang pansin ang mundo natin, kalikasan ay malin. Sa maliit na paraan, pagbabago'y makakamtan. Ang kabutihan ng tularan, lakapin inang kalikasan. Sige na, humayong ka, oras na ibigin siya. Bigyang pansin ang mundo natin, kalikasan ang isip mo at iyong isang puso. Ugali mo'y baguhin mo upang masigip ating mundo. Mga kulay di biro, samang kulay na lalagyan. Ang papel ay sa pula, bote plastic ay sa dilaw. O successful, ilagay mo sa aso. Namumulong at ilingupos, ilagay mo sa frente. Halina, problema'y lutasin. Residual ang ilagay mo sa itim. Bawas basura ang angat natin. Ito ay isa sa ating mga kapatid. Magtapon ay di biro sa bawat komunidad. Ang lahat magkaisa, maglalagay ng basura. Gamitin mo ang isip mo at iyong isang puso. Ugali mo, ipagumit mo upang masigip ating mundo. Magtapon ay di biro sa mga kulay na lalagyan. Ang papel ay sa pula, plastic ay sa dilaw. O successful, ilagay mo sa asul. Namumulok ang binigupos, ilagay mo sa frente. Halina, problema'y lutasin. Residual ang ilagay mo sa itim. Bawas basura ang hangat natin. Ito ay isa sa ating mga kapatid. Ito ay isa sa ating mga kapatid.
Yan mga kaibigan, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and welcome sa isa na namang episode ng Ako at ang Kalikasan TV or AKTV. Yan mga kaibigan, ngayon po meron naman tayong guest na isa sa mga global nominees, no, nanalo sa Pilipinas na NASA International Space Apps Challenge noong 2019. Pero bago po natin simulan mga kaibigan, ipakilala muna natin ano ba itong NASA International Space Apps Challenge.
Hey, I'm Thomas Surpok, an Associate Administrator for Science here at NASA, and I'm so happy to welcome you to Space Apps. Space Apps is a community of scientists, engineers, artists, and hackers coming together to address key issues here on Earth. At the heart of Space Apps are data that come to us from spacecraft that are flying around Earth and are looking at our world, and we ask you to take those data to learn new things that help us. To learn more, go to spaceappschallenge.org or join the conversation at #SpaceApps.
Ayan mga kaibigan, siyempre nakilala natin at nalaman muli natin ano ba yung NASA Space Apps Challenge. And today, siyempre ang ating palaging kasama sa diskusyon pag-usapang Space Apps, let us introduce the lead organizer of NASA's International Space Apps Challenge in Manila, Philippines. Let us welcome Sir Michael Lance Domagas. Hello Sir Lance, kamusta? Dito na naman tayo.
Ayan, David, nagpapasalamat na naman kami, no? At pinaunlakan nyo kami ngayon sa isang episode ng Ako at ang Kalikasan TV. Kami ay nagpapasalamat na na-invite at looking forward sa isang magandang discussion ngayon about may isa tayong magandang project na tumutulong sa paglinis ng ating karagatan, no? Sige.
Bago tayo magsimula, Sir Lance, pakilala mo naman ano ba tong NASA Space Apps Challenge na to? Yeah.
Ayun. So yung NASA's International Space Apps Challenge ay isang international hackathon na inorganize ng NASA sa buong mundo na ginaganap sa mga bawat bansa. So since 2012, inorganize to ng NASA nagtitipon-tipon lahat ng mga developers, coders, scientists, designers, engineers, technologies, entrepreneurs, at iba pa to solve real-world problems on Earth and space using NASA's free and open source data. So last year, no, nagkaroon tayo ng space app sa buong mundo. We had about 200 countries participating, at saka dito sa Pilipinas, ginagawa natin itong space app na to since 2016, no? So napaka-special ng last year dahil dumating yung pinaka-head ng space apps. And ito nga, no, ang maganda sa atin, no, nagkaroon din tayo mga champion. So ako ay talagang nagpapasalamat, no, David, at eto may isa pa tayong winner naman dito sa ating Manila upang i-discuss yung kanilang work. Sige, sige, yun. Thank you po. Ayun. Yeah, back to you, David.
Wala naman ako sound. Yan. Siyempre, salamat, Sir Lance. No? Siyempre, ilang beses rin natin pinaliwanag to. And I'm glad na nandito kayo, siyempre, sa ating Ako at ang Kalikasan TV. Siyempre, pakilala natin yung ating mga guests, no? So, ano ba yung challenge na kanilang hinarap, no? So, ang problema dito, mga kaibigan, ay tinatawag nating oceanic garbage patches na nasa mga dagat, no? Ito po yung sinubukan nilang solusyonan, no? Malalaman natin paano ba nila ito sinolusyonan, no? Let us welcome our guest from Project PaWiKAN. They are called the Ocean Sport, pero dalawa lang dito. Siguro pinanood nila yung Ocean's 12, no? Fan yata sila nun eh. Pakilala natin ang dalawa. Hindi ko lang, mag-sweetheart yata sila. Or yan. Let us introduce our guest. First, she is currently a graduating electronics engineering student at the La Salle University, Manila. She is the former president of the La Salle Scholar Society and is an active student leader in various organizations, student government, and social civic work. So we have Ms. Samantha Maxine Santos, the project manager and UI and scaling analysis, and with her is Grant Lewis Bulaong, a communications control and telemetry specialist. He is currently a fifth-year electronics engineering student at the La Salle University in Manila and an active representative of the university to various engineering competition throughout the country. Yun. Welcome, Sam and Grant. Tama ba, Grant?
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Hindi ko alam kung tama yung assumption ko kanina. Baka magkamali ako.
Hindi po. Magka-thesis lang po.
Magka-thesis lang. Ayun.
Nandito so, rin yung kasama.
Nagkataon lang.
Yes po.
Kasi last time yung in-interview ako, magkasama rin sila. Hindi ko rin tinanong. Tapos nalaman ko na lang sa sila pala talaga. Ka-thesis lang. Yun. Buti maliwanag, no, sa mga nanonood sa atin. Baka akalain na, uy, sila yata. So yan. Napaka-interesting nung project nyo, no? So, simulan natin siguro sa paano ba kayo na-acquaint dito sa Space Apps project na to at paano kayo naabala ni Sir Michael?
Actually po, we joined nung Space Apps 2018. Yun yung first namin na hackathon. So, we weren't sure kung paano ba siya ginagawa or paano talaga gumawa ng app in 3 days. Tapos nung time na yon, nahirapan kami dun sa pitching part. So we didn't do that well. And then we tried again the following year, nung 2019. Tapos dun, we won na.
Wow. Ano yung pinasa nyo noong 2018? Anong project yun? If I may ask.
Yes po. It was a hyper-casual game on Unity about the Hubble Space Telescope.
Wow. So parang may kinalaman yata sa gaming yung 2018. Tama ba ako, Sir Lance?
Bali yung una nilang ginawa noong 2018 is game, no? Using yung tinatawag na mga images from the Hubble Space Telescope. So gumawa sila ng game around yung, kasi yung Hubble Space Telescope, maraming mga images yan na nakuha from outer space. So how do you creatively showcase itong mga images na to?
Interesting itong mga nangyayari sa NASA, no? Kasi parang about last week, na panood ko na nag-create sila ng music, no, ng rhythm, wala naman sa mga stars, no? Galing ng nangyari na 'yan, no? May parang music na na-create gamit yung mga ini-emit na light and spectrum ng mga stars. Napakaganda. Ang galing talaga ng NASA, no? Nakaka-amaze. So yan, Sam and Grant, paano ninyo sinimulan itong Project PaWiKAN and how did you arrive at such sabihin na natin na ano bang tawag dito, high aiming project, kasi number one problem to sa karagatan natin eh.
Yes.
Paano kayo nag-arrive dito?
Actually po, kasi pag mag-apply ka po para sa space apps, you have to choose from different challenges. And then we saw na one of the challenges was about the Earth's oceans. And when we opened it, we saw na meron siyang trash cleanup na target. So we felt na, baka kaya kasi ECE naman kami. So we can mix hardware and software since yung software part is yung sa data ni NASA. And we thought na pag naglagay kami ng hardware, may edge kami. So after that, I think nag-pay off naman yung effort kasi now naging thesis na, and I think it's doing a big deal in the ocean community.
So you mean, ibig mo sabihin, ngayon, mayroon kayo actual na ginawa para i-apply itong project na to? I mean, parang ano bang tawag doon? Practical application na ginawa na?
Yes po. It's actually our thesis, the prototype. We're doing it right now. Yes po. It's a 3-foot fiberglass boat. It's on board. Everything's on board. It has its own computer vision system and controls. It's all wireless. And there's 2 of them, and there's a netting system in between.
Wow. Meron ba kayo inihandang parang presentation for our viewers?
Yes.
Para na makita nila kung ano itong nakaka-amaze na Project PaWiKAN.
Yes,
diba? Saktong-sakto. Yung mga pawikan kasi yan, yung number 1 na nasusupukin, nakakain na kung ano-ano eh. Diba? Tapos namamatay.
Yes.
Yes. Share nyo lang yung screen nyo. Yan.
Sige po, I'll start sharing my screen na po.
Galing naman ito, no? Sana ma-apply yung mga ganito, magawa ng di ba? Ng mga LGUs.
Oo nga no. Sana makita ng ating pamahalaan ang magaling ng Pinoy.
Yes po. Can see my screen?
Yeah, kita na. Yes.
PowerPoint?
Yes, kita na.
Okay po. So we'll start na lang po. Okay. So good afternoon everyone. Today we'll be talking about our Project PaWiKAN, also known as Patches Withdrawn Kept Away from Nature. My name is Sam. I'm the current project manager, and here with me is Grant. He's our very talented controls, comms, and telemetry specialist. So I don't think a lot of people are familiar with our work yet, as we just started doing it this year. But for a brief background, we actually won the NASA Space Apps 2019 Challenge in DLSU Manila with Team ADs and became a global nominee. Our team pitched a deployable and semi-autonomous fleet system for worldwide oceanic garbage collection.
When we realized the possibility of our idea, we knew that the NASA Space Apps Challenge was the best way to get it out into the world. Because not only did it pride itself upon its free and open source data, it also provided a healthy, competitive, and innovative environment for people who want to solve real-world problems for humanity with the technology already at the tip of our fingers. It also allowed us the possibility to work towards improving the Earth and beyond.
So before we get into any more of the details, I'll just introduce my team. So we're all currently 5th year electronics engineering students at DLSU. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the project manager, but also the UI and scaling analyst. I basically make sure that the rest of the team is on schedule, oversee the design and development of our user interface, and also carry out any scaling analysis needed for our 3-foot prototype in a 1:10 ratio for our actual vessel, which is 30 feet. Grant naman is our comms control and telemetry specialist. He takes care of making sure that the boats move and that we can see all of the data from our sensors, comms, and other telemetry modules. Janos, on the other hand, is our computer vision specialist and 3D model designer. He ensures that our semi-autonomous boats can look and see. Aside from just noticing garbage, the computer vision can actually identify what type of garbage it is. And he also plays a huge and patient role in designing and 3D printing. And finally, Anton is our UI consultant and data synthesis. So he oversees the design of the UI and its functionalities, and he's also in charge of creating the necessary annotated data for model training of the computer vision. So as you can see, our team is very diverse, which helps a lot in accomplishing more tasks simultaneously instead of everyone having the same type of skill set. Tapos lahat kami nagtatanong the same questions or the same problems.
Okay, so like Sam mentioned earlier, we actually joined the NASA Space Labs Challenge in 2018. For three of us, it was our first time ever joining a hackathon. We didn't know what to expect and settled on being very serious about the app that we were making. So at the time, we chose a challenge that maximized the data given by the Hubble telescope. So we decided to create a hyper-casual game on Unity in the 2 days of the hackathon, even though we've never done anything with that technology. So the game that we made, it's called Hubble Quest. And it's a puzzle game where you use gravitational objects to move the spaceship from point A to point B. When it came to the pitch, we were all very nervous, and we couldn't think of a proper social relevance of the game. After that, a year later, we learned from our 2018 stint. We believed in our idea, prepared beforehand, and relaxed with the presentation. So during the hackathon, we actually got to play around with the board games in the room, even though we also had enough time to sleep in preparation for the next day. So we felt good about the pitch, but we were still generally surprised to have won as a global nominee. We were mostly glad that our system and its purpose could have a chance of raising more awareness about the cause, which is the oceanic garbage pollution.
So there were numerous challenges from which we could choose to solve. Even though there were a lot of opinions, kasi for kami sa team, we all ended up agreeing on doing the Earth's oceans. The challenge was to protect the Earth's oceans through 3 different categories, from which we chose yung trash cleanup. It focused on oceanic garbage patches and their detrimental effects on the ecosystem. I think we were most interested in this one because it seemed like a chance to combine both of our hardware and coding skills. And another reason was probably because it felt like it would be easy to test and see its effects given the polluted bodies of water like Manila Bay or Pasig River. And lastly, given the evident value for social relevance, ocean preservation in itself is something that we felt very strongly about. So yun pa lang, very relevant na. And if you can see this picture on the rightmost, that's actually in Manila Bay. So konti na lang magiging patch na siya pag na-fill in yung gaps. Next.
Yeah. So here we have 2 more photos to emphasize the reality of the problem. When we hear the word ocean, we usually picture a clear and clean image like the one on the left. When you look at the span of the Pacific garbage patch on the right, it looks vast enough to mimic a sandbar. Unfortunately, there really are large patches of oceanic garbage that look like those.
So the biggest garbage patches are located in the 5 major gyres, accumulating plastic, namely the North and South Pacific, North and South Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean. Oceanic garbage is persistent and will continue to disrupt the overall climate and poison marine life along with the people that consume them. So not many people notice this because it's in the middle of the ocean, yung mga garbage patches, nor do some really care. But everything in the ocean tends to affect every human being naman talaga. So specifically, 33.33% of the total carbon dioxide emissions from human activities are absorbed by the ocean. And then 8 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean per year, and 100 million marine life are killed by ocean pollution per year. And finally, 11,000 microplastics are consumed by humans from seafood consumption per year. Because these oceans are so concentrated with plastic, it's almost impossible to send enough manpower to clean it up and still be efficient. Kasi pabalik-balik sila and they're wasting time. So with that, since not enough people could go there to collect the garbage themselves, we decided to create an automated system that could.
Yes, so with the help of NASA's OSCAR data, OSCAR standing for Ocean Surface Current Analysis Real Time, we are able to isolate areas with highly probable garbage patch formations. We are able to calculate and pinpoint the possible movements of not just large-scale garbage patches, but surface-level ocean trash in general. So using OSCAR, we map the ocean currents in a worldwide vector field, which we analyzed using a streamlined plot to simulate the particle flow. Areas with high particle concentration were then marked and tagged by GPS.
Okay. So thanks to all of that data, we believe that large-scale material problems may still be solved. The process of data gathering through OSCAR allows us to access waters all over the world from the comforts of our home. By analyzing the current data, we pinpoint the exact details such as location and possible distance covered by the oceanic garbage patch. And moving forward, planning efficient responses, such as to where to deploy the fleets for less traveling distance needed, possible factories or businesses around the collection area that recycles oceanic garbage, and more. So after having all the necessary analysis and planning, deployment and execution will begin the problem solving. The semi-automated solutions are highly dependent on the data provided. The more precise, the more efficient the collections may be, and the more efficient the collections, the safer ecosystems and marine life can be.
And so we introduce Project PaWiKAN, or Patches Withdrawn, Kept Away from Nature, a semi-autonomous initiative towards a cleaner ocean. So why did we choose PaWiKAN? As you can see in these photos, the turtles have always been the poster animal for our anti-plastic campaign, so it is fitting to be the star of our project. Also, we chose the PaWiKAN because coming from a nation with more than 7,000 islands, it is appropriate that we make an effort towards the goal that affects millions of Filipinos and beyond.
So generally, we work towards utilizing the OSCAR-based mapping and determining the targeted areas via GPS. Afterwards, we created a long-range semi-autonomous system capable of controlling our fleet of garbage-collecting ships. From a mothership, those ships will travel in pairs towards the coordinates until it reaches the initial calculations. With the help of a long-range or LoRa-based network, we were able to come up with buoys that float as data relays for extended distances and sensors capable of detecting arrival. We then created a formation that allowed the ships to split portions of possible larger garbage patches. Afterwards, it detaches from one another to reveal the net that would capture and drag the surface-level trash back to the mothership after the sensors detect completion.
Simply put, the overall functionality of the PaWiKAN revolves around three things. First is the prediction of the possible locations of ocean garbage patches, which is based on OSCAR data. Second is the location and the collection of garbage from the predicted location. And finally, we look to sustain the safety of marine life, mankind, and the ecosystem. By perfecting these, we become more proactive and really begin to take control of the world we live in, even if we previously took part in its solution. In a nutshell, Project PaWiKAN is a network for deployable and semi-autonomous ROV pairs using computer vision and long-range communication networks to determine locations of highly probable garbage patch formation for cleanup in bodies of water worldwide.
For more context, current efforts already have been made towards automating the gathering of ocean garbage, but even so, they are very undermanned in terms of collection. This is actually the setup on the right is actually the current setup of Boyan Slat's ocean cleanup. Yes, their gathering is current dependent or somewhat automatic, but when it comes to collection, they have to pick up the trash with cranes and manpower. So that's where we come in. With our automated boats, time and resources wasted on travel and labor for pickup could be time spent on segregation or reproduction of the collected oceanic garbage plastics. The same goes for the Seabin project of Andrew Turton and Pete Seglinski of Australia on the right. Although their sea bins can automatically collect garbage in the water, even under the surface, release bycatch as a new fish na nahuhuli, and separate oil or water, they still require manpower to empty the bins regularly. So when we came up with this idea, We did it with the purpose of revolutionizing oceanic garbage patch. Sorry. Purpose of revolutionizing oceanic garbage cleanup methods. Through our solution, we will not only be able to clean up the ocean, but also provide an easier and more efficient way of helping the Earth without wasting as much time, resources, and manpower.
So after we became a global nominee for the NASA Space Apps Challenge in 2019, we started getting a lot of exposure and media coverage. Here and there, people were talking about the ocean waste collector. And then finally, we were given the opportunity to have this as our undergraduate thesis topic. Okay. As we approach the end of our prototyping stage for Project PaWiKAN, we couldn't have done it without the DLS UDC department, our advisors, and Animal Labs for the overall opportunity to make this possible. Also, ALS Marine and the Intelligent Systems Laboratory in DLS was also helped us greatly in the scaling and manufacturing of our system. Here are a few photos of our latest accomplishments. So this is what our boats look like, with and without the net extended. The net is curved under the bottom of the boat to be able to collect at least garbage right below the surface. For our mentioned sensors, we have our camera, an ultrasonic sensor for proximity detection, and our stepper motor to control the coiling and the uncoiling of our netting system. On the left, we have a load cell, which we use as a tension sensor. It gives us the feedback to increase or decrease the tension in our rope, depending on the readings of the load cell. Our entire jet propulsion components were 3D printed as well to save on cost. Finally, this is our current user interface. We use to control and view all the data and controls. Our running pattern, side by side, is seen here. And our expanding or collection pattern is seen here.
So as we approach the end of our presentation, one of the end goals we always have per trip is to partner with the local community to provide livelihood for them in terms of segregating jobs and processing the ocean plastic into recycled products. So as you can see here, the shoe from, I think this Adidas, it came from Oceanic plastic as well. And with all of those, through one project, we will be able to address those indicated Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs, not just through our cleanup, but also our possible social enterprise as well. So to cover it, no poverty, decent work, and economic growth because of the social enterprise itself, good health, well-being, clean water, sanitation, life below water, and life on land because of our cleaning water, which affects cleaning of water, which affects everything, affordable and clean energy, climate action, responsible consumption and production because of clean energy used by the semi-autonomous fleets, and finally, partnership for the goals because we'd have to partner with other oceanside communities to efficiently reach the predicted locations and also provide the social enterprise that we want for them to segregate. To end, we only wish upon everyone to keep the oceans clean. Please stop littering, and as much as possible, reduce the use of one-use plastic. Thank you so much. So if you have any additional inquiries, you guys may email us here. Thank you. And stop sharing.
Galing. Sir, napaka-interesting nung project, no? Siguro yung isa sa gusto itanong, no, yung development ng isang standard deployment, 'di ba? Parang dalawang boat yun na magkasama, tapos naghihiwalay. How long does it take to create one deployment, ano bang tawag doon? One PaWiKAN. Sabi ko, tawagin natin PaWiKAN yung boat nyo. PaWiKAN boat. Gaano katagal?
So far, we've spent around October, November, December.
Yeah,
around 5 months to create one pair pa lang na 3 feet. So I think it will get worse if it's at the upscale na 30 feet na po. But the prototyping kasi we're experimenting pa lang, so madaming nasisira, madami kaming di alam. So I think that contributed a lot then to the extension of the time period.
So itong prototype, yung, iba pa yung actual na talagang na-envision nyo, no? Na boat. What is the actual end project that you are envisioning? Ano yung size niya?
It's exactly the same design as our the one we presented na prototype. It's just that 1:10 ratio. So 3 feet yung current namin na boat. So
30
magiging
feet.
30 feet. Yes po. And everything exceeds by 10.
Sasha, hala ka nagtitisis din sa akin. Kasi na-amaze ako, I'm amazed with the concept and everything. At tinitingnan ko lang, paano siya ma-scale up, and is it more economical and sustainable to use it by like LGUs in coastal communities compared to actually going to the garbage patches and cleaning them. Yun yung iniisip ko kasi. Ano sa palagay niyo?
I think because our 30 feet is meant to endure rough water. So in the middle of the oceans yon. That's why it's meant for the Pacific garbage patches, yung malalaki talaga. But if LGUs are gonna use it, so small bodies of water lang yon, they can maybe scale it up to 20, 15,
Sure.
15,
Yes.
15 feet. 15 feet will be okay for LGUs. And that's gonna be so much cheaper.
Also, the purpose of automating the project was to reduce the amount of manpower required for the collection of the garbage patches.
Paano ba yung sistema? I mean, there's you during the presentation you said there's a mother boat. So parang merong isang bangka na doon pumupunta lahat ng mga nakakollect na
Yes,
na
po.
garbage.
Yes, po. It's gonna be supposedly our idea for that was it would be in one single location, siguro closest to every 5 major gyre, para pwede lumapit lang doon yung mga maliliit na fleets, and then it would be easier kasi it would save on energy costs to go back and forth for every single one.
Sir Michael, like, what do you think of the project on your end?
Maganda yung project kasi una sa lahat, kahit kahit sabihin natin hindi naman yung kasing laki niyan, it can provide a good impact kahit dun sa mga yun sa mga LGU, sa mga ating probinsya, mga lalawigan, sa kanayunan, no, that these technologies can help them aim to clean the bodies of water. And medyo threatening na nga tong mga pollution like the water pollution dahil nasisira yung ating kung saan tayo nangingisda, di ba? So siguro panahon na para sa ating pamahalaan to be more serious in addressing the environmental concerns, lalong-lalo na itong nangyari sa pandemya, no? Maraming epekto yan no. So isa na dyan yung pagkukunan ng pagkain. So kung sana mas malinis, no, yung ating karagatan or yung ating mga bodies of water, edi mas safe, mas yung mga tao ngayon, mas sure sila na itong pinanggalingan ng pagkain namin, itong isdang kinakain namin itong simple, masarap na, malinis pa. So sana nananawagan ako sa mga mayor, congressman, governors na medyo seryosohin naman natin to. Itong issue sa environment dahil nakaka-apekto rin to sa kalusugan no? Itong nangyayari ito, yun yung akin nakaka-apekto to sa ating kalusugan.
Yes, it's true, especially in current times, because studies have shown that lockdowns all over the world have actually increased the plastic pollution in the ocean due to the high demand in single-use plastics and the increased production in PPEs and other plastic materials.
Totoo yan. Pati yung mga yung face mask. Lumulutang sa sa mga creek, ganyan. No? Totoo yan. Totoo.
Fascinating, no? Alam mo, natutulala ako kasi I was thinking, paano siya mapoproduce, kasi ito compared to other apps, this one is physical, no? You have a physical thing, you have something to deploy. I was thinking, have you planned out on, making costing between the existing methods of LGU? Kasi sa local LGU, we can apply that kasi pag sinabi natin na sa big oceans, it might be a higher dream kasi 'di ba kakausapin mo diyan the UN or international NGOs, but locally siguro isa sa magandang magawa is to have a costing. Ano ba yung costing ng kapag sila nag-pick up ng dagat ng kalat sa dagat nila, having all the labor, all the boats needed against actually producing the PaWiKAN boats, no? Pwede naman to sa local setting, 'di ba? As you said.
Yes po. Sorry, wait. Ang lakas ng ulan.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, we'll go inside. Umuulan kasi sa area namin. Sorry.
Sige.
Okay.
No, baka, ang iniisip ko kasi parang Sir Michael, parang malaman din yung costing para malaman ng mga nanonood sa atin. At the same time, kapag in-local setting ba, paano ba yung setup? Kasi di ba parang may net siya, tapos paano malalaman exactly yung position ng garbage, gaano ba ka-economical yan. Kasi alam mo na mga LGU natin, mga mayor, mga governor, mas maraming tao ini-employ, mas maraming boto. Diba? Hindi natin maiiwasan yun kasi mga politicians natin, to be honest, di ba? Mas marami akong bangka, mas marami akong tao naglilinis, mas maraming boboto sa akin, di ba? Kasi masasalamatan nila ako, di ba?
Sabagay yan. Mama yan, may point kayo. Kasi ito kasi maganda dito sa dinevelop nilang projects that it is may AI to, no? May AI component to. Magiging automated yung pagkaka-program niya, paano maglinis ng patches of garbage dun sa bodies of water like yung mga river. Then ang nakita natin advantage is that through the matutunto niya yung lugar tapos ma-automatic na paglinis So may automation na nagaganap. So yun yung nakikita kong advantage nitong project na to. And yung maganda kasi dito, itong mga teammates natin, no, from the Ocean Sport, talagang they really studied the feasibility of this project na talagang ginawang thesis, no? Nagulat nga ako nung bininitaan nila ako nila Samantha. Ginawa, talaga sineryoso nyo talaga tong project na to. Kaya natutuwa ako no? Tuwan-tuwa nga ako dito So, ayun. Sige nga. Sige David. Okay.
I would like to understand from the benefit also of our viewers. I mean, una-una, if you can share, how much does it cost para sa ganong kaliit? Ano yung total cost niya?
Well, yeah.
Nagtalong. If you can share it.
So far, we're at 101.5K.
Those include development.
But those include everything na po. So like may 0.5K po.
1,000?
Yes po.
Prototype.
The prototype.
It's expensive po kasi yung fiberglass.
Ano pinakamahal sa kanya?
Yung fiberglass boat po. Kasi isa nun, 25,000 for a 3-foot fiberglass boat. Tapos dalawa pa nun, so 50,000 na kagad.
Why fiberglass? Why do you choose fiberglass? I mean, is there other alternative materials that you are looking into in the future perhaps to save on cost?
Of course, plywood would always be cheaper, no? But then
mahal naman yung plywood.
There's actually a marina statement na I think they're not allowing wood boats anymore. I'm not quite sure, but ever since we read that, we thought na fiberglass would be the safest option going forward because it can simulate talaga how it's gonna be like in the rough waters. Kasi we'll know na how it will react to the boat, how it will react to the fiberglass. Imbis na plywood na baka mag-degrade over time or mag-absorb ng water. So it was very unsafe then. But we were thinking of it kasi cheaper nga.
No, kasi kung imagine mo, 15 feet yun. So, isipin mo kung one boat is 25. So that's times 5. So that will be 125K times 2, that's 250,000. Boat pa lang ba yun? Tama ba?
Yes. Sorry. Yes po, boat pa lang.
So around 500,000 per 15 tama ba ako? Per 15 feet na boat kung sa LGUs, no? siguro one of the things going forward is to really find a possible alternative material if ever. Or since may patong yan, alam ko may patong naman yan, di ba? Binili niyo yung fiberglass, di ba? So technically, it would have been around 12,500 or 20K lang yung original cost niya. No? Iniisip ko kasi maganda yung automation, no? Kasi may isang tao lang doon, aalamin niya, makikita niya, ma-detect niya, and then makukuha yung mga garbage, no? Then magagamit into livelihood, no?
Yes po. We were actually thinking, because it's so expensive nga po, the current people that are investing in ocean cleanup, like the ocean cleanup and Seabin project, because they have, of course, investors. So we were thinking that when we do commercialize, we can approach them and say na, you will reduce cost because hindi nyo na kailangan masyado ng manpower. And that's also a liability to have manpower. Kasi, of course, they'll have, being in the water might be very dangerous for them. So at the end of the day, if you automate the whole process, you're saving money for the future. There's a great ROI.
As of today, we're currently still in the developmental stage. So actually, the bulk of our costs were from
mistakes.
Yes, mistakes.
If we're being honest, yeah.
To find out what works best for our.
But you already have naman a cost comparative analysis na parang
Yes.
Pag ito not automated, ganito yung cost niya. Kasi I believe like if you pay one person, hindi naman pwedeng 5,000 a month lang yan, di ba? Or something, di ba? So times hindi lang naman isang tao yon. So technically, it would even be greater than the actual cost of the boat, yung 15 feet na boat na 500,000 kasi one time lang yan eh. Plus, syempre yung fuel. Anong fuel paano nag-ooperate yung boat? I mean, anong ginagamit niyang energy? Electrical ba yan?
Yes.
So for our prototype, yes, we're using battery-powered motors, as if in an RC car or drones. So currently, the brains of our system is based on those type of technology.
Para i-charge mo ba o battery na i-charge mo, tama?
Yes, exactly. Rechargeable batteries similar to the ones used for RC cars or drones.
Kasi baka malay mo, Sir Lance, di ba? Pwede rin na lang gawing solar powered, di ba?
Yes.
Yes po.
It's a
Solar power would actually be a very good investment, but with the
added
current
cost.
it's very expensive to begin with. The initial payout is very expensive, but there's a good ROI naman eventually. But we couldn't implement that given the current situation of COVID because we got all of our components during COVID eh. Lahat sila na-delay from Lazada. So it was months delayed.
Kasi this is a very good project. No? I'm thinking this is a very good project. But come to think of kasi most of the local executives and Filipinos, ang tinitingnan nila kaagad yung initial cost eh.
Yes.
So, pero when you look at it in the long run, this is more economical and affordable in the long run. Kasi fiberglass is hindi naman siya basta-basta nasisira, no? Kahit siguro 2 years, it will still be the same fiberglass boat unless matatama yan sa bato o kaya sa Antarctica mo gagawin na tatama sa iceberg or something, hindi naman basta-basta masisira yan. So ano ba yung plano ninyo? Hopefully, sana pumasa kayo sa defense nyo, sa thesis nyo. Pero after that, what's your plan going forward with the project?
Going forward, actually, after this, we were talking to Sir Mike about commercializing. So he was offering us to go to workshops about investing and stuff like that. So we really learned how to run a business because, of course, we're in engineering and we don't really understand the works. And it's going to be very good for us to attend those workshops so that we can really innovate further. So that's what we plan to do. Learn how to commercialize first, and then we'll figure it out afterwards.
Sir Mike, ikaw pala yung tutulong sa kanila. Kailangan mo tulungan itong mga batang to kasi napakaganda, no? Ang kailangan lang talaga ma-realize na in the long term, this is more economical than doing it manually.
Oo nga eh. So actually yung DOST Fisher nagtanong na eh. Sabi ilan daw yung interesado dito sa may commercialize yung mga gawa nila and mag-attend ng mga workshop. So ayan, nagpapasalamat ako kay Samantha na interesado sila at babalikan natin yung ating mga kaibigan sa DOST para sabihin yung magandang balita na yan.
Perhaps you could also talk to Greenpeace, no, or WWF or international NGOs. I guess they would be very interested with this project kasi it's sustainable energy din yung ginagawa mo. At the same time, di ba, it could help them clean up the ocean. Kasi itong mga to naman yung actual din na nagpupunta sa dagat and sa international ocean to clean them up. Perhaps you could also, di ba, Sir Mike, no, approach them.
Oo nga eh. Maganda din na i-approach natin yung mga partners na yan, yung kagaya ng Greenpeace, yung kasi maganda yung nagtutulungan eh, no? To fix a common problem, a common enemy, yung naririnig natin sa sa
Sustainable Development Goal, Partnership for the Goals. So at the end of the day, we have
UNDP. Oo nga, yun na nga yun sa Mante, exact. Yung Sustainable Development Goals eh. So sana halimbawa, yung UNDP maging suportahan tayo dito sa project. 'Di ba? Kasi na-align to sa sa goals ng United Nations eh, no? So sana.
Pero currently, you can, your group can produce naman the prototype pa lang, but the bigger version, you need somebody else to produce it.
In order to make the 30-foot version, we will need investors and we will need a manufacturer that is willing to do it. But our current manufacturer now is ALS Marine. They produced our prototype very kindly to make it a 3-foot prototype. I think they would be willing to do a 30-foot prototype because they did the scaling analysis with us, and they said that their normal boats are regularly 30 feet. So it's something that they do. So I guess it would be normal from here on out, except for the investors part.
I think in behalf of Aksyon Kalikasan, we are very interested to partner with you and then, submit proposals in your behalf. Then we could work. Kasi Aksyon Kalikasan is about cleaning the environment as well. And we are very interested to implement this on our chapters. And perhaps we can talk about it and let's submit project proposals together.
Yes, of course.
Kasi, di ba, it's an automated thing eh. So kahit isa, dalawa, tatlong member lang ng organization na nandun, they can, kung ayaw yung maglinis sa dagat, di kami na lang. If you have a fisherman, mga fisherman na member, they could do the cleaning, right? Di ba? Kesa, di ba, ang problema, dami dumi sa dagat, hindi naman natin malinis kasi ang dami. O kahit isa lang yung maglinis, dalawa, they could do it. But syempre, as you told it really needs an investor na talagang tumulong. No, kasi this is this is something that is a social enterprise, no? It is not something na pagkakakitaan mo. It is something that you will be doing to really save the oceans.
Oo nga eh. Speaking of social enterprise, meron din sa Lasal din eh, may gumagawa din yan eh. Nabalitaan niyo? Samantha.
Sorry pa?
Yung sa Lasal din may gumagawa rin na social enterprise.
Yung kwento po sa akin ni Sir Dicky is yung nagko-convert din sila, nag-recycle ng ocean garbage tapos ginagawa nilang other products. Kasi sila yung refer sa amin.
Oo, yung LCD ang pangalan. Yun ang nakalagay.
LCD.
Oo, yan. Baka makatulungan din tayo niyan.
Kasi ito, kung sa pandemic, di ba, kahit hindi mo na kailangan ng mag-convince sa napakaraming tao, di ba? You just need a thoughtful, committed people who are really willing to, to save the oceans. So yan, Sam and Grant, in behalf of Ocean Sport, would you like to say something to our guest for your ending message of AKTV for today?
I think at the end of the day, the only thing we want to say is, I've been posting it repeatedly. Please, please, please stop littering. Stop littering your plastics because at the end of the day, they all end up in the ocean. Kasi nung nag-test kami for the first time sa Manila Bay, may na-stock na plastic sa jet propulsion system namin. So hindi siya gumana for a while. And imagine if that happens to a boat with actual people inside. That's very dangerous. So please stop littering kasi hindi lang plastic yan. It can cost someone anything.
Yun yung nakakaano rin, no? Nakakatawa, no? Parang ang hirap solusyonan ng problema ng kalat, ng basura sa Manila Bay. Pero napakadaling magmukhang maganda yung Manila Bay.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi it's all about, it's all about discipline of people. Pag walang disiplina, kahit lagyan mo dyan ng napakagandang, gawin mong white sand dyan buong Manila Bay, the trust will still be there, di ba? Tatapunan nila yan, gagawin nilang kubeta. It's all about educating these people. No? And we all need to play a part. And napakagaling, saludo ko sa mga taong kagaya ninyo na kung tutusin pwede namang mas simpleng project, mas murang project yung ginawa. Diba? And to be honest, di ba? Why would I spend so much for this project or even for something like this? Pwede namang mas simple. Di pahihirapan ko pa yung sarili ko. So your group is really doing something very important. And I hope na wag niyo susukuan kasi we believe na mayroong magandang dadating sa inyo dahil sa ginawa niyong project na ito. Sir Michael? You're welcome.
Ayun.
Wait lang.
Oo, laban lang tayo, no? Ipagpatuloy natin itong pag-develop ng mga magagandang projects na to, no? Tsaka yan, salamat talaga David sa sa pag-alok ng suporta from Aksyon Kalikasan. Talagang we need your help dito. David, more partnership.
Keep in touch naman with the group, and then hopefully we could do grant submit for a grant together using the credentials in Aksyon Kalikasan.
Yes.
Para ma-implement sa mga chapters. Di ba? Kahit mag-grant tayo, tapos yung mga members na mag-implement nito sa Luzon, sa Visayas, and sa Mindanao. Di ba? Meron din kami sa chapter sa Laguna Lake. That will be very helpful, di ba? Kasi baka pag tao yung akto na pamunta doon, mabaril, akala nagnanakaw ng isda nila, di ba? Kasi may mga parang di ba? Kalya-kalya So pag autonomous, maglilinis lang. Safe lang. Alam nila na hindi maglalakaw yun. So this is a very good project talaga.
Oo.
Sir Lance?
Tsaka hindi rin mananakaw yan dahil nasa dagat nga Di ba? Ginagawa na nila yung dapat nilang gawin. So, I don't think may nanakaw. Yun nga Kaya talaga yan, partner tayo, let's partner, para mas maraming lugar sa buong Pilipinas yung makinabang dito sa project ito. Yan, let's do yung grants na yan, importante din para kasi alam ko nagre-research and development tong sila Sam din no? They're improving the project din. So, malaking bagay din yung grants and So, ayun. Tulong-tulong.
Nahihirapan silang nakawin yung 15 foot or 30 foot na fiberglass boat.
Pahirapan natin. Hindi na yan mananakaw.
Nahihirapan yung huli-huli kagad. So maraming salamat Ocean Sports, Sam and Grant. Maraming salamat din Sir Michael sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa ako at ang Kalikasan TV and AKTV, and siyempre advance Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays sa inyo.
Merry Christmas.
Maligayang Pasko nga.
Malapit na, ilang araw na lang, no? And hopefully, magtagumpay yung project ninyo and makapasa kayo. Hindi lang sa thesis, sa defense, makapasa din kayo sa goal ninyo to upscale Project PaWiKAN. Sir, maraming salamat. Thank you sa inyo. John, saludo ko sa inyo. Ocean Sport. Yan. Hindi ba to galing sa Ocean Sport?
Hindi po. Yun yung basis.
Sabi ko lang. Magandang pelikula. At least this time, no? Ang ginagawa ninyo, makabubuti sa kalikasan. No? Yan. Thank you. Thank you again, Sir Lance. Hanggang sa muli natin uling. Baka may gusto ka palang i-plug? Kayo, baka may gusto kayo i-plug bago tayo magpaalam?
Wala naman.
Samantha. Ito may gusto pala ako ikwento sa inyo, David. Yung mga global nominees natin ngayong taon, yung iba dyan, gumawa ng naman, nagde-detect ng ocean, din, yung mga lumulutang-lutang na mga plastic sa ocean din. Detection naman using, mga satellite. Tapos, yung isa namang global nominee natin, nagde-detect naman ng forest using satellite data.
Sana talaga magamit tong mga app na to in order to, to repopulate, regreen the environment. No? Kasi sayang Ang environment kasi is one of the least prioritized pagdating sa, alam mo, sa funding. Kaya sana mabago.
Oo nga eh, doon ako nagtataka eh. Kumbaga, ang environment kasi, ang kapaligiran, tsaka yung kalikasan para sa akin, ito ay ating tahanan. Na kung saan na dito tayo naninirahan, dito tayo kumukuha ng ating pagkain, dito tayo humihinga. Kung sisirain natin yung sarili nating tahanan, saan ba tayo pupunta? 'Di ba? Saan pa ba? Pero ang maganda,
sa kangkungan, pupulutin tayo later on pag wala na tong ating ine-enjoy na kalikasan. Kawawa naman.
Pero yung magandang balita dito, David, may mga may mga tools na kagaya ng from outer space na mapagbigay sa atin ng mas mahalagang impormasyon tungkol sa ating kapaligiran at kalikasan. Yun naman yung maganda. Kaya sana, itong ating gobyerno, itong ating pamahalaan, bigyan naman ng pansin tong sektor ng ng agham at teknolohiya, no? Wherein halimbawa sila Samantha, yung Lagrant ng Ocean's 4, gumamit sila ng space data from NASA Oscar para ma-detect kung saan yung mga global patches. And dito din sa Pilipinas, magagawa din yan. Diba? Kaya nga, ang panawagan ko parati, supportahan nyo naman yung mga adhikain na programa kagaya nitong sa ating kalikasan, sa ating yung sa space apps. Kasi ang makikinabangan naman dito, tayong mga Pilipino rin eh. No? Tayong mga Pilipino eh. Sino ba makikinabang kung malinis yung yung ating karagatan, di ba? Mga Pilipino din. So, sana supportahan.
Siguro, it's about time siguro na yung mga department secretaries and heads siguro talaga dapat may credential when it comes to their department. Like pag Department of Science and Technology, dapat scientist, di ba? Department of Environment, dapat environmental advocate or environmentalist talaga na may alam. Para may alam talaga yung namumuno. Yun naman kasi yung yung key, no? Kasi kapag hindi naman talaga galing doon, scientist yung nasa na in charge ng science, paano niya malalaman kung ano yung pinag-uusapan doon? Hindi aalay pa niya. Ano doon yung sabi niya? Ano yung element na yun? Ano yung formula na yun, di ba? So it's about time na the leadership really is from the proper agency and the proper people are put in those. Para alam mo, hindi masayang yung mga dinedevelop ng mga gaya ng mga batang to. Sayang eh. Sayang yung effort, no? Ang ganda ng ideas. Hindi biro yung 100,000 na yun, Diyos ko.
Diba? Kaya nga eh. Tama yung sinabi nyo eh. Ako, sa totoo lang, malaki rin sasabihin ko na, malaki ang respeto ko sa ating mga kasundaluhan, sa ating militar, no? Ang militar ay nagtatanggol sa ating bayan, laban sa mga threats, security threats. Pero bigyan natin naman ng pagkakataon yung mga career officials, no? Halimbawa, yung mga environmentalist na mamuno sa DNR, mga ganun. Kasi mas alam nila yung mas alam nila yung departamento eh. 'Di ba? Kapag yung career mo yung pipiliin natin na mamuno diyan sa kagawaran, mas makakatulong para mag-function yung gobyerno natin.
Less time to explain everything, 'di ba? Halimbawa, ito sila naging head nila eh. For example, galing sa ibang department, halimbawa, philosophy. Tapos gano'n lang project, isipin mo kung anong kailangan pa ipaliwalag nila at grant yung lahat ng idea ng kanilang machine. Kasi syempre, although hindi naman bobo yung tao nagli-lead, ang problema, yung expertise talaga. We need people to have with expertise to really lead these agencies so that we can move forward, no? Into something better and greener.
Yun.
So, maraming salamat guys and see you again. Hopefully, we can work together on this project and also with the other apps that we hope to partner with soon. Maraming salamat and muli, Kalikasan po sila lahat. Goodbye po. Thank you.
Bye po. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
This is not a drill. My name is Greta Thunberg. We are living in the beginning of a mass extinction. Our climate is breaking down. Children like me are giving up their education to protest. But we can still fix this. You can still fix this. To survive, we need to stop burning fossil fuels. But this alone will not be enough. Lots of solutions are talked about, but what about a solution that is right in front of us? I'll let my friend George explain.
There is a magic machine that sucks carbon out of the air, costs very little, and builds itself. It's called a tree. A tree is an example of a natural climate solution. Mangroves, peat bogs, jungles, marshes, seabeds, kelp forests, swamps, coral reefs, they take carbon out of the air and lock it away. Nature is a tool we can use to repair our broken climate. These natural climate solutions could make a massive difference.
Pretty cool, right?
But only if we also leave fossil fuels in the ground.
Here's the crazy part. Right now, we are ignoring them. We spend 1,000 times more on global fossil fuel subsidies than on natural-based solutions.
Natural climate solutions get just 2% of all the money used on tackling climate breakdown.
This is your money. It is your taxes and your savings.
Even more crazy, right now where we need nature the most, we're destroying it faster than ever.
Up to 200 species are going extinct every single day.
Much of the Arctic ice is gone. Most of our wild animals have gone. Much of our soil has gone.
So what should we do?
What should you do?
It's simple. We need to protect, restore, and fund. Protect. Tropical forests are being cut down at the rate of 30 football pitches a minute.
Where nature is doing something vital, we must protect it.
Restore. Much of our planet has been damaged.
But nature can regenerate, and we can help ecosystems bounce back.
Fund.
We need to stop funding things that destroy nature and pay for things that help it.
It is that simple. Protect, restore, fund.
This can happen everywhere. Many people have already begun using natural climate solutions. We need to do it on a massive scale.
You can be part of this.
Vote for people who defend nature.
Share this video. Talk about this.
All around the world, there are amazing movements fighting for nature. Join them.
Everything counts. What you do counts.
Tonight, we've got rather different program for you.
I am David Attenborough, and I am 93. I've had the most extraordinary life. It's only now that I appreciate how extraordinary. The living world is a unique and spectacular marvel. Yet the way we humans live on Earth is sending it into a decline. Human beings have overrun the world. We're replacing the wild with the tame. This film is my witness statement and my vision of the future. The story of how we came to make this our greatest mistake. And how, if we act now, we can yet put it right. Our planet is headed for disaster. We need to learn how to work with nature rather than against it. And I'm going to tell you how.
People always tell us that young people are going to save the world. But there is simply not enough time to wait.
The fallout from climate change.
The impacts could be catastrophic.
All of this with the global warming, it's a hoax.
It is the most pressing issue of our time.
You have to go to school.
When it came to the climate crisis, I saw my parents were just like everyone else. We weren't doing enough. For many years, people refused to listen to me. Children were very mean. But I don't care about being popular. I care about climate justice.
She felt she had to do something and she had to do it on her own.
Is climate change an issue that children like yourself should be concerned about?
You suffer of Asperger syndrome.
I wouldn't say suffer from, but I have it. When I get interested in a subject, I become laser focused.
There's a real movement that's growing.
Greta comes up on stage, she speaks, and her words are devastating.
My name is Greta Thunberg, and I want you to panic. We are in the midst of a mass extinction.
Time is running out.
I can't just sit there and watch her do all this for the environment and do nothing.
We will be a pain in the ass. We will keep on striking until they do something.
We don't want to burn out.
I think you should especially be really careful.
I have been invited to the United Nations Summit, and since I don't fly, it's going to be a challenge.
This is all wrong. I should be back in school, on the other side of the ocean. What we are doing now, future generations can't change. Despite all the beautiful words and promises, our political leaders have failed us.
Some people are so arrogant to think they can change climate.
She faces a really, really tough journey.
Nothing is happening, so we must do what we can. We will not stop until we are done.
You read a lot on climate?
A lot. I'm a nerd.
With 10,000 arrows declined, remind me that you are my armor. There's always a place I can hide when I am desperate for shelter. You're my covering. I'm safe. I'm safe. Whatever comes at me, I'm safe. I'm safe. You got me under your wings, under your wings, under your wings.
Philippines. My name is Sushmita.
I'm Sam.
Broadcasting live from Global TV Bollywood Studio, India.
Live from Global TV London Studio. You are watching Global TV Philippines.
I'm so excited to join you. Catch me soon on the Rapporteur News with
Isabel
Isabel Fernandez and Chino Hansel
Filiang.
Together, let's unite the universe with substance by bringing news you can trust. Until then.
See you.